All right. So, Christine, are you on?
I am.
All right. Well, everybody, and I mean everybody, is super excited to hear from you. Uh, Congratulations.
Thank you. I am very, very, very relieved. So
Congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Congrats. Outstanding.
Yes, very happy. Very, very happy. Um, it's been a long road, but I got there. So
Now we can't talk about anything too specific about the exam, of course.
right.
Right, like actual questions or things like that. But you can give your impressions about, oh, there was a lot of quality questions all right, so let me be quiet, and why don't you give us the once over.
Okay. The three things that I would say are really important. Basically, I think I'm just repeating Dan, but if anyone's heard of his RTFQ and his RTFA, that is 120% important.
Okay, so since that might be coded words.
That is read the question with a little expletive in the middle.
RTFA.
And read the answer.
Christine, it stands for full.
Oh, is that it?
Gosh, where is your head at?
That's awesome.
Now you can institute your own word there. Please continue.
Yeah, so I actually took the strategy, and this is just telling you how what my strategy was I read the last sentence of the question, then I went back and read the entire question, because I felt this way, if I read that last sentence, I knew what information in the first part would be important. And then I read my answers from D to A, and then I reread the question.
Oh, that's really interesting. That is so interesting.
I did it backwards because I found that when I was going from A to D, I started to assume that maybe A or B sounded right, just like you had suggested. So my boyfriend is sitting for the CISSP, and he had that tip to read it from the bottom up. And that really helped me understand each answer. So those two things are really important. The other thing I will tell you is that it is so important to know what those processes do and are, because it's not easy you have to figure out, you have to know what process you're in, because they don't tell you. You have to know, okay, based on what they've just done or what they're doing, this is where they're at. And so if you don't understand each 49 process of what their purpose is, then it's going to be a lot harder. And I had done what Dan had suggested. I wrote everyone down. I didn't play the game. I did it handwriting, because that's what I do. And that really helped. I did the game too, though. I did both, but I did write it down every day. And then the other thing I did was I created my own spreadsheet, and I used the workbooks and a reference guide to really look at each process and what it's supposed to do. That was really, really key for me. And understand the techniques, the work performance information technique and the deliverables flow really helped as well, because that I caught myself a couple times knowing, okay, nope, that's not in that process. That would be in that process. So a lot of those tips and tricks really helped. The questions, I would say you need to know earned value, but I didn't find a ton of calculation work, but you need to understand the concepts. So it was definitely, I also would say, again, I couldn't even tell you what some of the questions were if I wanted to. I've been brain dead for 3 days.
All right, well, let me jump in and just say that's amazing feedback.
Okay.
And it was so exciting to hear you talk about those things that we went over in class so many times, like all the project sub plans and all the key artifacts and all the processes and what they do and their outputs, and how that leads to, the measurements that take place in monitoring, controlling, which drives the change requests and the change process. And then eventually we lead to the closing of the project.
Yep.
And the work performance concepts with work performance data, work performance information versus reports.
Yeah, that helped me a couple times, because I caught myself and realized, okay, it was just that one of those might have been an answer option, but then you realize, wait a minute, that's
It's in the
not
wrong
how-
context. It's in the wrong context.
So,
It would be right if we were in monitoring and controlling, but we're
Right.
only in execution. So I know it can't be work performance reports because that doesn't come till later.
right.
Right.
That was really, really helpful. So I think understanding that, and just, I will tell you that I actually did it in center. So I did not do it online. I had scheduled an appointment, and they gave us, the little whiteboard with the dry erase marker. And then
I hear that one, that grease pencil and that sheet is really good. I hear.
it's really good. I'll be honest with you. I only used it 2 or 3 times. Just because visually, if there was anything with scheduling, or like a diagram, if they gave you a chart, it's easier for me, even if it was given, to really visually do it myself. But the other thing is, I would say, is I actually didn't go in and do a brain dump. I learned
a lot of people do that now.
Yeah, I didn't want to rely on a brain dump, and
you had memorized it so many times.
I had.
And to be fair to everybody on the call who knows or doesn't know, Christine went Lance Armstrong on this.
Minus the steroids. Yeah.
Minus the steroids. I'm sorry, but she really you went all in, but so if you didn't have as much time as you, Christine, and you were just going to go through my program in some sort of a rush, what would be your minimum viable study plan that you would recommend for them to focus on in terms of my assets?
Okay, for starters, I would definitely, this Excel spreadsheet is huge. So looking at that and really studying those processes and understanding their definitions and their key outputs. Because once you know them, you can kind of understand, what would I need to actually do that activity. So
make the next thing happen.
Right. And then the other thing would be, I know it seems like it's difficult to do the daily videos, but even if you don't do it, what I found for me that helped, and again, this is personal, I don't think it's for everyone, some people hear it once and they're fine. I have to hear it a couple of times. So I really liked that the video of the day didn't match the class at night, because then I had the opportunity to hear what I was doing again. And so when Dan put all those videos on the portal, I would, because I think I joined at a time that was a little bit off. So I had caught in something twice, but I'd missed something. So I made sure to watch all the videos, but then go through all the classes from start to finish. So starting with framework and going all the way to stakeholder. So really hearing that twice. And I printed out the workbook, and I used them for notes. I used them to take notes while I was watching the videos and at class. So that really helped. So if that's what you have to do and you don't have, I did spend a lot of time on it. So, but those things would be really helpful. And take tests, because really being able to take the tests and read the questions and have that practice. Again, I took a ton of questions, but I started in early September. So I've had the time, but I would definitely, a minimum of 1,000. And if you can do more, then you should.